going on, CSBA, and welcome to the very first episode of CSBA Hoops Today. It's your boy Lion United, and I'm here to start a new weekly podcast that will cover everything CSBA. Our main topic will be covering the games of the week and providing highlights, but could certainly expand to having guest interviews, hot takes, or whatever the community is looking for. We certainly had some great games of the week over this past week, so let's get right into it and see what went down in the CSBA universe. We certainly had some great games this past week. As you can see, we had five primetime college matchups, and we cannot forget about our JUCO teams who play on Saturday, as I will also be showcasing their primetime matchup as well. We started off the week with number 4 Oregon facing UCLA, and on Tuesday we had a top 25 matchup with number 17 Providence traveling to number 8 Marquette. Wednesday featured a top 10 matchup with number 8 Kansas going to number 3 Texas Tech. And then Thursday's game was your number 1 team, the Kentucky Wildcats, playing number 16 Mississippi State, and the Friday showcase of number 9 Indiana taking on Michigan. But like I said, let's not forget about our JUCO teams as Key West and Maine Tech put on a show on Saturday. So the first matchup we will get into here is the UCLA Bruins versus number 4 Oregon. Here with game one, we have the Bruins traveling to Eugene to see if they could pull off the upset over the Oregon Ducks. The Ducks were pretty much in control during this one as they shot 65% from the field and had a whopping 60 points in the paint. One statistic that UCLA ended up beating Oregon in, though, was they hit more threes than them. They outscored them from the three 9-7, but it really didn't matter in the end as Oregon's biggest lead ended up being 30. Oregon ended up with 4 players in double figures, but UCLA also had 3 in double figures, with Toby Nair Jr. starring for the Bruins with 14 points. In the end, though, your final score was Oregon 95 and UCLA 65. Your player of the game ended up being Ethan Letterman Jr., as they had 25 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. The Ducks certainly are looking like one of the top teams to beat, and we will see if they can carry this momentum into next week. This next matchup ended up being a great one as we had number 17 Providence traveling to number 15 Marquette. This game ended up being one of the closer matchups of the week, and that's what you love to see and come to expect from two top 25 teams. Providence ended up hitting 10 threes, but one of the key statistics was they out rebounded Marquette 35 to 28, and that type of effort is what you need and want to see if you want to win on the road. One very impressive feat that the Golden Eagles had, though, was they shot 100% as a team from the free throw line, going 13 of 13. Your main contributors for Marquette was Acre Wood with 20 points, but Daddy Langston had a double-double with 13 points and 10 rebounds. In the end, though, it ended up being the Friars who came away with the 4-point victory, 85 to 81, to get back to the 500 mark. Lance Kabongo ended up being the player of the game, which is starting to feel like something of a constant for the Friars, as they finished with 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. On Wednesday, we had, on paper, one of the best matchups of the week, as we had the number 8 Kansas Jayhawks taking on the number 3 Texas Tech Red Raiders. This one was a matchup of two of the best teams in the CSBA, but Texas Tech would not let the Jayhawks come in and get an easy win on the road. Texas Tech ended up winning the majority of the statistical categories as they hit an outstanding 15 threes and shooting 56% from beyond the arc. They also had 10 more assists than the Jayhawks, 25 to 15, and held a surprisingly large lead at one point, being as much as 23. For Kansas, Xavier Cookie tried their best to keep the Jayhawks in the game with 12 points and 4 assists, but it proved to not be enough as the Jayhawks go down to the Texas Tech Red Raiders. For Texas Tech, you have Jim Bob Jr. as the player of the game, and certainly making a statement for player of the week as they finished with 24 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. In this next one, we had your number 1 team in the CSBA, the Kentucky Wildcats, taking on number 16 Mississippi State. The Wildcats put on quite the show on the road for the fans, which is what you come to expect from the number one team in the country. They shot an outstanding 72% from the field and topped the 100-point mark once again with only three made threes, which leads me to my next statistic, which was an insane amount of points in the paint for the Wildcats, being 82. The biggest lead in this one ended up being 42, but we can't discredit Mississippi State. They certainly fought for the home fans, and they had three players in double figures, with Ralph Lumley leading the way with 17 points, and McQuinn with 14, and Kurds with 11. So they certainly showed a lot of heart. Your final ended up being Kentucky 109, Mississippi State 78, and your player of the game was Mamba Baby, ending with 22 points, 2 rebounds, and 8 assists, so almost a double-double there for Mr. Baby. This next one was certainly one for the books between number 9 Indiana and the Michigan Wolverines. Everyone expected the Hoosiers to come in and take care of business, but the Wolverines said, "Not so fast, my friend." In order to pull an upset, you have to do something special, and Michigan hit 14 threes, which was 11 more than the Hoosiers. And they even held a lead as large as 21 on the number 9 ranked team, and their bench outscored Indiana's by 11. Indiana only had one player in double figures, which was Will Stevens, who finished with 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists, and that's one of the main reasons why Indiana ended up going down on the road in a surprise upset to the Michigan Wolverines. The final was Michigan 80 and Indiana 62, with Michigan being led by Kingston Ali, who had 16 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists. Congratulations to the Wolverines on this massive victory. And last but certainly not least, we have our primetime JUCO matchup between the Key West Bearded Dragons and the Maine Tech Sailors. Let's not sleep on our JUCO action, everyone, as they play every Saturday, typically led by Ace. But Maine Tech shot a solid 51% from the field in this one and managed to double Key West points in the paint at 32-16. Key West fought hard throughout, especially when the Sailors had a 17-point lead, as Ray Gunn and Dudley Jr. both finished with 11 points, but it proved to not be enough to win on the road, especially as a team who shoots 35% collectively from the field. But one bright spot for the Dragons was converting 7 threes on the night, and I expect them to continue to fight hard throughout the rest of the JUCO season. Your final ended up being Maine Tech 56 and Key West 49, as Dalen Sparks led the way for the Sailors, finishing with 12 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists. And with all of that said and done, I hope you all enjoyed this inaugural podcast of CSBA Hoops Today, CSBA Nation. I look forward to continue running these podcasts, and if anyone ever has any feedback, please feel free to reach out in the CSBA Discord. Don't forget to like and subscribe the video, and I will see you all on the Twitch streams. CSBA out.